Previously on the Completely Mind Blown by God podcast, the Campus Chronicles series. In the last episode, Naomi encountered insecurities that challenged her ambitions and made her consider giving up. Amidst God-arranged occurrences, Naomi was encouraged to persevere, gaining invaluable lessons that remain profoundly relevant. Stay tuned as we venture further into this narrative of faith and transformation.
Hey there, beautiful souls! Welcome back to another exciting episode on the Completely Mind Blown by God podcast. And I want to take a moment to first express my gratitude for your commitment to this series. I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for logging on every single week to listen to my podcast. I really and truly appreciate you guys. Now, I know you guys must be wondering what happened next since we left last week's episode unresolved. And here's what happened, right? So, I didn't have any money to pay my tuition because I haven't heard back from any of the scholarship funds, right? And so, I did not know what to do because exams were like 2 weeks away, right? 2 or 1.5 weeks away, right? Somewhere around that time. And so I didn't know what to do. But a friend of mine came to me and told me about this exam pass that I could get at the registry. It was a one-time pass that would only give me access to do one exam, right? And so even though it did not solve like the main issue, I decided that I was going to grab onto this opportunity because at least something better than nothing, right? So I decided that, okay, let me go and check this out. I went up there, explained to them that, hey, I'm still waiting on some funds to come in and my exams are about to start, but I don't know what to do. Could you permit me to do my exam, right? They gave me the one-time only pass, and I did my first exam, just like that. Now, my other exam was like 2 days away, and I was like really stressing out. I didn't know what to do because, hey, I've already used the one-time exam pass, right? I couldn't do any more exams, so I had no clue what to do, and I was like praying like, God, what am I going to do? Like, you said I should not quit school, and if it was up to me, I would have quit. So what am I going to do? I went to school the next exam day. I sat at a school bench with my other friends who were in the same situation as I am. All of us sitting down, wondering what on earth we were going to do because none of us had our exam permit. None of us paid any tuition, or if they did, they have a completed payment. And so it would affect them in terms of sitting for the exams. We're all there wondering what we should do, right? And when it came like around an hour to the exam, I start getting nervous now because I say, God, I don't know what to do. I'ma just start get angry because I say, God, you send me here. Like you tell me to come back. What is happening, I'ma just get angry. I'ma say, you know what? I'm going to the printing. I'm going to print my exam permit. I'ma say, God, do not flop me. Don't embarrass me, God, because I cannot take the embarrassment. So, you told me to go, so you must have a plan. And here's the plan. I'm going to print my exam permit. That's what I said. And I marched down to the printery, right? And boy, it crowded, which was normal because it was exam time. Everybody wants to either print their final projects or presentations or whatever it is, their essays, or they wanted to print their exam permit, right? So I got a little bit nervous, not gonna lie. I got really nervous because I was saying that, hey, if everything decides to blow up in my face, then everybody going to look at me. You understand? And I can't handle that level of embarrassment. But despite all of that, I decided to push through the crowd, hop on a computer, and log into my student portal. I didn't bother to navigate to the exam permit screen because I said I could not deal with the embarrassment. So I finally got assistance, and this lady was dealing with multiple persons at a time, right? So they turned the computer screen, did what they had to do, went around the back to the printer. So the lady come back around now, and she had multiple different papers in her hands. And I was like, okay, what's the verdict, right? I had to beat out of my chest. And to my surprise, I saw the lady hand me a piece of paper. When I look on the paper, people, could you believe that it was my exam permit? My exam permit print. How it prints? I don't know. I don't know how it prints. And mind you, this exam permit would not only have me sit one exam, but all of my exam. I want you to take a note of that. But I understand how big this miracle is, because, first of all, I am not supposed to even be able to, nobody actually, is supposed to be able to access the exam permit screen. I am not a registered student because I haven't paid a penny towards tuition. Not 1 cent. Only the registry should have access to that screen. How did that lady access the screen? You understand? I wonder if you're getting it. How? Me no know how, but God did it. God did it. And with that exam permit, I could relax and do all of my exams, and nobody could ask me question and say, are you registered? Nobody couldn't talk to me, my love. Nobody couldn't talk to me. You understand? Because me have my pass. And you see, after that, guys, every single one of my exams, me walk with my shoulder them square. Well confident. Me step I. You understand? Me step I and the people them exam room, cause me have pass. Me have exam permit and nobody couldn't tell me if I come out. You understand? God, big up yourself because you do this. Him do it, Hey, let me tell you, God good. Up till this day, it still puzzles me how him do it. Me not understand. And this is just the beginning. You understand? If you think the miracle here big, stay tuned until the rest of this series. Because we're just a start. You understand? This is just a taste of some of the miracles that God performed in my life. You hear me? So, I want to talk about faith. You could already guess what the topic was going to be about today because this big, and faith alone could have made this happen. Faith alone. I can't think of anything else that I could have done to resolve my issue at that time. What I was experiencing was something contrary. Because God said this, and because Him said this, and this mega have. You understand? He wants you guys to have faith and to believe in the word that He has promised you. Not because you're experiencing something different from what He said. Because that is life. That is normal. That is a natural part of our journey. Right? To experience the contrary. We will always experience contradictions to what God said. That not gonna change. Our job is to have faith and not to focus on those contradictions. Because God is a faithful God. God is a promise keeper. If He said it, He will do it. Right? Just play your part and have faith. And imagine if I decided to quit. Just imagine. Right? I would have never experienced this at all. I would have never experienced such a miracle. And probably when I quit, I would just curse God or something. I would just stop believing and saying that God not real because He told me this and He failed to perform. That would have been my story. But God said, no, continue. And I continued. And it was because of that word that He told me to continue that caused me to take a leap of faith and go down to the printery and print my exam permit. I shared the story last week, Nobody cannot tell me that wasn't God. The fact that my teacher stopped the entire class when we were behind in our curriculum, right? We have exams like the following week for that class. And he stopped the class to have a talk. You couldn't tell me, say, I not got that. If God says so, then it must be so and so. I have to do my exam because God is with me and He will provide a way out. I wanted to give up because of what I was experiencing. Everything was contradicting what God said. He said I was supposed to do music, but I was struggling in music. Plus, I did not get any response from any of my scholarships, right? So I said, this don't make any sense. And it is funny, because we often harbor unrealistic expectations from God, right? Because He gave us a promise, we think that it's gonna be easy and it will be handed to us on a silver platter. That's how we create it in our mind. Our plan will be like, okay, so God said, I'm going to do music. I'm going to be a singer, a gospel singer, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be like this. I'm going to go to school, learn to sing, excel, and then, yay, finish line. No, sir. God planned different. God planned longer. God planned in full. God planned in full. You understand? And the journey to fulfilling that promise is, as I said last week, is to develop our capacity to maintain that blessing when it arrives. And God orchestrates it that way because He loves us. He knows that, hey, when these trials and these challenges decide to come, my daughter or my son might want to quit because of the pressure. And so He decides that He's going to be there with you in that situation. He will not leave you or forsake you, and He will constantly remind you to have faith and to keep believing in His promises. So my encouragement to you is to remain steadfast, because you never know if your breakthrough is just around the corner. You see, when God performed that miracle, that was the day when I really, truly, like for real this time, decided to trust God. That day, nobody couldn't tell me, say, hey, trust God because God faithful, because me know that for myself. I didn't have to take anybody else's word for it. It's like I got a revelation of God for myself. I experienced God for myself. From that day, I decided that, hey, if God said it, then I'm going to put 110% of my trust in Him. Yeah. No matter what the situation, I decided that, hey, I'm going to trust God because His words never lie. So I had full confidence in the face of contradictions, because I said the only reason why I'm experiencing contradictions is because the enemy wants to shake my faith. He wants me to stop believing in the promise because he comes to steal, kill, and to destroy. He doesn't care about my well-being. And so anytime I am experiencing contradictions, I decide that, hey, it's just the devil. It's just the devil trying to mess with my focus, mess with my perception, right? Because I know that God is going to come through for me. Each time I'm facing a challenge or an obstacle, I try my very best not to let them impact my emotions and my beliefs, because I understand it is a test of faith. Even though these challenges are sometimes orchestrated by the enemy, God will turn their intentions for evil into opportunities of growth and preparation for the promises ahead, just like I discussed last week. He will use those negative experiences for our good. No matter who is working evil against you, God is still using what they're doing for your good. Yeah. He's turning that situation for your good. He's working that out. And I want to make reference to Matthew 14:28-31, right? This is a story of Peter when they were on the ship and Peter saw a figure walking on water. And he said, Jesus, is that you? And he said, if that is you, God, then allow me to come, right? And he stepped out in faith and walked on water, right? He stepped out in faith, knowing that it was God, trusting God. And as soon as a little wind blew, he took his eyes off God and started to get fearful. And so he started to sink. And Jesus said, O ye of little faith, why didst thou doubt? You know why Peter started to sink? Peter started to sink because he took his eyes off Jesus. He took his eyes off Jesus and began focusing on what was going on around him. And that is what we tend to do all the time. And that is our mistake all the time. We have been instructed by God, or we have been promised by God, right, to do something, or he will grant us something. And so with that word, we step out in faith. But as soon as the little challenges come, we get nervous, we start to become afraid, and so we start to doubt God because we choose to take our eyes off God and start looking at our circumstances. Yeah, we choose to magnify our circumstances over God. You know what my declaration is? I always speak a word and declare, because you see, declaration, it's a very powerful thing, very powerful. That is what I do when I realize my faith is starting to shake. I get scriptures and I start declaring. I said that, hey, God, you promised me this. You said if I have faith as small as a mustard seed, then I can move mountains. If I command this mountain to be thou removed and to be cast out into the sea, then it shall be. Yes, so I declare words like, just like the rain falleth upon the earth, and the earth giveth bud, so shall my words be. It shall not fall to the ground, but it shall bear fruit into big trees. And I declare that whatever it is that I'm expecting, I declare that it is so. I declare it, and sometimes it rough, and I have to build up back my faith. I stand in front of the mirror and I declare, God, you promised me this. And I'm gonna take it by force. I'm doing this. I'm gonna get my degree. I'm gonna finish at X date. I declare it, and it shall not fall to the ground. I have the power and authority to declare and to decree, because you have given me the authority and you have given me the position of king or queen. So I have the power to declare and to decree stuff. And just like I have the power to declare and decree stuff, the earth has to respond. The earth has to respond to me. My situation has to respond to me. And so I declare stuff, and I declare it until I give birth to those stuff. So whenever you realize that your faith is like starting to fade away, speak to yourself, I will not give up, because I'm not a quitter, one, because God said it, because this is what God wants. Just declare some stuff in the atmosphere. Declare it until you become confident. You see, when you speak, there's power in your speech. The Bible says there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Yeah. So whatever you decide to speak, that will be your portion. That's why you must be careful of what you are talking. You see, me? I know financially I'm not there as yet. You know what I say? When I don't have any money, I said I am temporarily out of cash. Because I'm not broke, I'm not declaring that. Hello? No, I'm not declaring that. If I am sick, I am resisting. That's how we speak. That's how we speak, guys. Oh, I have asthma. No, you are resisting asthma. You understand? So, declare Speak over that situation and trust God. Have faith. Take that leap of faith. If you know and you are 100% sure that this is what God wants, take that leap of faith. And God will surely show up for you. We want to step out in faith and to keep stepping out in faith. And do not focus on what is going on around you, but keep your focus on God. So don't be like Peter now and decide to magnify what is going on around you rather than magnifying God. Because Peter made his circumstance bigger than God. Yeah, he magnified it. And that's what we do. We magnify the circumstances until it takes the place of God, because we no longer believe that God is capable of fixing our problems. So that is what you do. When you magnify your circumstances, it takes the place of God. You saying in your mindset bigger than God. And because of that, God don't have any space in our life to perform miracles or to make a way out, because we made the situation or circumstances bigger than Him. When in fact, God is actually bigger than those circumstances. So keep your focus on God. Focus on scriptures that can assist you in whatever circumstances, and declare those daily. Especially when you feel like your faith is running out. Declare them. And you stand in the mirror and you declare. No matter how you feel, you just speak. Continue to speak. And push and fight no matter how you feel. And God will come true for you. All right, my beautiful souls, it's time to say goodbye for now. But before you head off, I want to extend a big thank you for sticking around with me until the end. And as a token of appreciation, I've put together a special self-reflection activity just for you. Click the link in the description to dive into some soul-searching goodness. And hey, if you're curious about my personal insights and reflections on today's topic, swing by my website where I've shared some exclusive thoughts in the show notes. Don't forget, you can always stay in the loop by subscribing to the podcast and spreading the love by sharing this episode with your friends and family. Until next time, love you guys.